Hello everyone and welcome to the most requested game that was played, I believe, the day before yesterday. It's a game from the Schachbundesliga and it's a game between Czech Grandmaster Vlastimil Babula and Serbian Grandmaster Aleksandar Kovacevic, and it's basically a story of one player swimming in a pool of favorable continuations and then he just drowns. And there are so many favorable continuations here that the drowning sequence will shock you. So let's dive straight into it. Vlastimil has the white pieces and he opens with d4, and we have the first some 12 moves are known theory. Knight to f6, we have c4 c4, not c3, c4 e6, knight to f3, and d5. Kovacevic goes for the queen's gambit declined. We have knight to c3 and bishop to b4. So the Ragozin defense, not as fancy as the Nimzo, but still very nice. We have queen to a4 with check, knight to c, this is the Alekhine variation, knight to c6, and now pawn to e3. We have castles and queen back to c2. Now this is all very well-known stuff, nothing new here. Rook to e8 and bishop to d2. We have a6, a3, challenging the bishop, and the bishop goes back to d6. So bishop d6, you could also consider bishop e7 or bishop to f8. Bishop to d6 is what Kovacevic goes for. h3, we have h6, and now c captures on d5. We have e captures on d5, and bishop to d3, putting the queen and bishop on this diagonal, so very nicely placed. And now there is a game between Viktor Laznička and Shahriar Mamedjarov from the World Cup in 2009, where bishop to d7 was played, that Mamedjarov won. But here we have bishop to e6, and now there is a game where pawn to g4 was played, but here we have queenside castles, and it is now, as of move 13, that we have a completely new game, and this is basically where our game starts. And now you have castles on opposite sides of the board. Now Kovacevic should definitely consider just starting an attack on the queen side, something like b5, and the white starts attacking on the king side already, b4, and black is the one who starts attacking first. However, he starts with bishop to d7. He doesn't mind giving up the attacking privileges over to white, and white goes for it. Babula goes for g4. We have b5 and now g5. So now white is the one who starts the attack first. H captures, knight captures, now with all this control over the h7 square, but just pawn to b4, attacking the knight here. So a captures, knight captures, and now queen to b1. And here you could consider with something like c5, but knight captures on d3. That bishop does seem to be very strong. But on the other hand, you allow now queen captures on d3, and then the queen will be attacking the h7 square. Might have been better to have the bishop attacking the h7 square, but okay. Queen captures on d3, queen to c8, and now knight captures on d5. And this is a very nice move by white, because black wants to play rook to b8 and he wants to play bishop to f5 to attack the white queen. But black missed knight captures on d5. And now the point is, if you go bishop to f5, it's not as impressive. You will play knight captures on f6, and after g captures, now black no longer controls the e4 square. Pawn to e4 attacks the bishop. So you're gonna go back, now the knight is attacked, and after knight to f3, now you continue the attack with something like rook to b8 or queen to b7. Basically, you want heavy pieces on the b file going after that b2 pawn. The problem is, if you go something like bishop captures on e4, then rook h to g1 check, and black is just doomed. Let's say king to h8, queen e3 now, going after the h6 square, and if bishop to f8, now just knight to e5, and there is no defense here. The bishop is hanging, knight captures on f7 is the threat. Not much you can do here. Let's say rook captures on e5, d captures on e5, now bishop to h7, just queen to f3. Now again, attacking f6, there's too much stuff happening here. Black will not be able to withstand this. So after this knight captures on d5 move, we have knight captures on d5 by Kovacevic, queen to h7 check, king to f8, and now pawn to e4. Attacking the knight, knight to f4, and now queen to h8 with check. We have king to e7 and queen captures on g7. So white made a lot of progress here, forcing the black king all the way to e7, but knight to e2 with check. We have king to b1 and now bishop to e6. Controlling this diagonal. You can see the knight also controlling a lot of squares here, and the position is now completely winning for white. Make no mistake here. That's why I said that at the beginning of the video, even though it was kind of weird. But yeah, let's say knight captures on f7, and you just resign here. There's nothing you can do here with black. If you capture the knight, just bishop g5 check, and now if you go here, okay, we capture the bishop. If you go to e6, then first d5 check, king here, and now you go for queen captures on f7, bishop to e7, and now any move here just wins for white. Let's say bring the rook to e1. Not much for black to do here. But after bishop to e6, e5 was played, and this gives black an idea. Rook to b8. Very, very tricky move by black, because knight captures on f7 is still winning. It's pretty much the same idea like the move before, but black probably thought, okay, white missed it the first time, maybe white misses it for the second time, or maybe he also missed that it was winning. It's very hard to say. But in the game, e captures on d6 check happened, and now white is no longer winning, but he might be losing. He's not objectively losing. Objectively, it's still a playable position for both. But after c captures on d6, now you have to play knight captures on e6. Knight captures on f7 no longer works, but that's exactly what Babula played. He played knight captures on f7, and now the position is completely winning for black. So feel free to pause the video and try to find the only move that not only wins the game for black, but forces white to resign on the spot, while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting that all of the squares are taken. The bishop covers this square, the rook controls b2, the knight controls c1 and c3, and well, if we also gain control over this diagonal, could be very, very important. And you can't just play anything. If you play bishop to f5, this will not be enough. Then king to a1, and white is still winning. But for those of you who found queen to c2 with check, congratulations, as that is the way to win this game. Absolutely stunning idea. We can even do it in slow motion, as, I mean, what a move. Queen to c2 with check, and now you're saying, now I don't care if you go to a1. If you go to a1, now queen captures on b2 is checkmate. So you have to capture the queen. That's the only other legal move. And after king captures queen on c2, now not bishop to b3 check, because then the king escapes to d3, but bishop to f5, and this is now checkmate. And the game actually ended with bishop to f5 checkmate on move 29. So I dare say it, this can be considered a modern miniature. Even though it's not a classical miniature where you're just better right from the opening and then you crush your opponent. Here black was winning for the entire time, if he only played knight captures on f7 sooner, but he wanted more. Like I said, there were so many good moves for white. He just couldn't decide what to play, and then he just dragged the game along, dragged it on until he fell for this queen captures on c2 check. We can show it one more time. I know you guys want to see it one more time. Queen to c2 check, king captures, and the bishop to f5 checkmate. Absolutely spectacular. So yeah, brilliant game by both of them, but the win goes to Aleksandar Kovacevic, who spots queen to c2, and I mean, the holidays are not even here yet, but it's like, I mean, with games like these, we can definitely sense the spirit of the holidays. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and once again, big congratulations to everyone who spotted that queen to c2 move. You have quite the keen eye. I would like to thank Ahmed Youssef, Anup Akihal, Clothesbox, Buntiak Pang, and Ravishing Reptiles YouTube for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions, such as this one. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.